our commitment to keep you engaged and make you meet new people while sitting at home. We are back yet again with another episode of KidzLive. Today we have with us Anmol, the founder of Sales 5X, and Amit, the co-founder of Kidzpreneur. Amit is an entrepreneur and enabler in the Indian startup ecosystem for almost a decade now. He advises companies on the Indian entry strategy. He's also a TEDx speaker and works closely for some government initiatives also. Welcome, Mr. Amit.
थैंक यू अदिति। यार ये TEDx वाला शायद हटाना पड़ेगा। अनमोल क्या बोलते हो? अब तो
Everyone is a TEDx speaker these days, but चलता है, it's good.
यूज कर सकते हैं, मतलब अभी है इसमें जान, इसमें में अभी भी जान है। राइट, सॉरी, मैं ये स्टैंडअप कॉमेडियन के साथ ही होता है ना, आप थोड़े कॉमिक मोड में चले जाते हैं। वेलकम एवरीवन एंड थैंक यू अनमोल फॉर गिविंग अस टाइम। Anmol is a good friend, and we had spent reasonable good time in talking about a lot of interesting stuff which he keeps doing. He also started a channel on YouTube which is it takes a business news and make it, it's called business news, which you can
misuse. Yeah.
Right. So Anmol, quickly if you can talk more about your journey. बचपन में शरारती थे इसलिए कॉमेडी में घुसे, और what was your journey, studies?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much everyone's journey. School or colleges में joke crack करना or someone else gets caught, right? I was that guy who was cracking the joke, but someone else gets caught. So वो कीड़ा शुरू से ही था. And of course I got into entrepreneurship after doing my engineering. I was working with IBM for 4 years, then had 3 startups which didn't work out. So I'm on my 4th company. That's been the journey, and at the same time, wo jo 3 failed startups have that have become comedy. So that's a summary in short.
So I think you have taken the Modi ji's things literally. उन्होंने startup और stand up जो बोला था,
correct,
सिर्फ तुम्ही को समझ आया, बाकी लोग नहीं समझ पाए।
Absolutely, I was the one who started. Wow, Modi ji, wow.
पहले से कर रहा था, आपने मुझे विजन दे दिया।
True.
Right, so you've been an entrepreneur for quite some time. What was your journey? And probably if you can talk some about your failed startups also, because the ultimate idea is that we also to the parents and to the kids, we also kind of share this information कि failure is part of life, right?
Right.
लोग कहीं ना कभी fail होंगे. And those are the stepping stones, right? So what was your experience and what you learned from all those experiences?
Sure. I think firstly, if parents are watching this, they take failure very seriously, especially when it comes to their kids. They get scared. Oh my God. That's out of love as well. I get that. It's out of love that they don't want their child to suffer. They want the easiest path for them. And I really appreciate that. But I think failure really toughens the child. They learn to deal with it, because you cannot have a life which is devoid of failure. That's not going to happen. So you might as well prepare for them, right? So as they say, this is some quote which I picked up in school: never pray for lesser burden, pray for stronger backs, right? And then I feel that's been my journey all through, last couple of years, in fact 4 years to be precise, when I had these 3 startups and I was like, nahi, ye chalega, this is going to be the next big idea, this is the millionaire idea, kal main newspaper mein aunga. So all those things go on in your mind, but the idea doesn't develop, it doesn't go to the next level, it fails. There have been failures for a number of reasons. One, of course, you don't validate the idea, you make a lot of assumptions, sometimes the business model is not feasible, sometimes you don't have the right team. So all of this, either you look at it as failure or you look at it as learnings. And I think I've been fortunate enough to still get onto my 4th company, and it's doing quite well because I looked at it as a learning opportunity. I think this is how I did my MBA, which is far more in-depth and far more effective.
अच्छा, तो MBA भी किया आपने?
On the ground, without a certificate, right? The real MBA.
So we are going to talk about the career options which are available today, right? And I, for us, I think specifically, obviously I'm elder to you. When I was growing up, there were not too many options, and for our parents, there were actually just 3-4 options: डॉक्टर, इंजीनियर, वकील बन सकते थे, और obviously सरकारी नौकरी, right? So 4 ही ऑप्शन थे उनके पास. अब इतने सारे ऑप्शंस हैं. So how do you look at this, and what are the few interesting career options which you have came across?
Right. Amit, as you rightly mentioned, pehle, even now for that matter, a lot of parents still think bas engineer banana hai, apne son or daughter ko, ya doctor. Like this is the be all end all. And this is when I want to tell parents that, all these careers are fine, but that's not enough. There are so many new things which are coming up, right? So many different things. Just aapka background hi le lo. I love the background that, you have right now. You will see a baker out there, kind of a chef. If you move, there's a police officer, and if you move a little bit, I think I can see a detective as well, right behind you. Right. So, I think there are a lot of career options which have opened up, social media influencer, copywriter, meme creator. The list is endless. And I think parents think that, okay, in sab cheezon mein paisa nahi hai, but trust me, there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money if you are creative, if, you are very passionate about whatever is it that you're doing. Just day before yesterday, I was reading about a kid, I think he's all of 8 or 9 years old. He runs a YouTube channel where he just reviews, toys, and he's making millions from YouTube. He's making millions, just reviewing toys. He takes up, a car like this, and he says, guys, this is what the product is. Why should you buy? Why should you not buy? Right? And he's making millions from it. So, आपका जो old traditional thought process था, if you're a parent listening to this, I understand your perspective as well. It is breaking. अभी आप देख लो job safety, right? There's no such thing as job safety. People are firing left, right, center. Big names are firing right now, and it's not just because of the corona crisis. Even earlier, we've seen that, right? So the whole notion that I will become an engineer and my life is sorted, I'll work for an IT company and that's it. That's a myth. That's a myth. It is not going to work that way. So definitely a lot of career options are open, and I really believe that kids need to find their passion and work towards it and make a career out of it.
तुम्हारे हाथ में कार थी, तो मुझे लग रहा है कि शायद तुम भी उस बच्चे को कॉपी करने की कोशिश करो. ऐसा तो नहीं हो रहा?
I wish. Actually, मेरे पास 2 कार है. So that kid had 1 car, so I think I'm doing better.
Right. Aditi, you had, I think, some serious question. नहीं तो ये तो कॉमेडी चलती रहेगी हमारी.
Agreed, but I think those are the 2 cars that you're gonna buy as the first big cars for yourself.
Absolutely.
Kept them there.
Aditi got that right. So that's the power of visualization, to be honest. So it's there on my desk and I'm visualizing it, and then this is something, again, now that it's not a question, but I will, since you brought this up, I think kids have a lot of dreams. Okay. Even teenagers have a lot of dreams. I think parents should fuel their dreams. Okay. I'm not saying, bacha jo bhi banna chahta hai, in the sense like you help him do something wrong. No, you can talk with them, but don't like put, what do you say, extinguish their dreams. Make them visualize it and make it come true. That's what I really believe.
Thank you. So Anmol, as you were talking about passion, that we should look for our passion and then pursue it. But sometimes what happens is when we are at a younger age, or maybe when we are deciding for our career, we are not sure of what our passion is. So how do you think that we can find out what our passion is?
Right. I think it's a good question, because I found my passion after graduating, right? So once you do engineering, you're like, oh my God, this is something I didn't want to do, right? Because all of us are in the rat race. I think it's a lot of experimentation. It's not that, the answer will come to you immediately. It is not like, I can talk to you and yes, I know what I want to do in life. It does not work that way. It's a lot of experimentation. Let's say I want to get into sports. So it's exploring, what I like, what are the career options, let's say, again, let's take the example of tennis. How is the tennis scene in India? How can I become a better player? What kind of infrastructure is there? So getting into what is it that you really want to do and experimenting, talking to experts, series of experts, exploring a lot more. So it's not something which is going to come to you easily, but you keep, searching. वो बोलते हैं ना, अगर ढूंढने से तो भगवान भी मिल जाएंगे types, right? So if you search for it, if you actively search for it, I think you'll get it. you'll find it. That inner voice will tell you, hey, this is what I want to do. Unfortunately, kya hota hai, when you turn 50 is when that voice tells you, oh shit, I should have done this. But I think it can be done in your early 20s, right? And then I think that's a better thing to do.
So that was great. And as you suggested that we should, keep talking to people, to experts, to, find out what our real passion is. So here is what some parents do. They would, spend thousands of rupees on career counseling for their kids. So do you think that's a right way to, decide on what your passion is or maybe what you want to pursue as a career?
मैं भी अभी ये career counseling का धंधा शुरू करने वाला हूँ because there's a lot of money. But keeping jokes aside, I think it's a good start. Okay, but it's not the end. A lot of parents think, okay, let's go to a counselor, pay 4,000-5,000, take up a psychometric test, which will, basically they will say it's the best test in the world. That's important, but you cannot conclude everything on the basis of that. I think that's an indicator. Okay, the child has aptitude towards, let's say, science, or he or she has aptitude towards, some other kind of field. It's a start point. Which can probably give you a direction that you have to go in. But uske baad, again, it goes back to you exploring it further. It shouldn't be that, the counselor says, look, this person should not get into science, let him get into commerce. And that is derived only by his marks again, right? So again, it's a very biased form. I think it's a good start. You should do it, but don't just stop at that. Still continue the exploration.
So, as we are discussing, career is such an important, part of our life. A lot of effort goes into planning what we need to do, how we need to do, and all. So, what pointers do you suggest that we should keep in mind before we choose which career to choose?
Right. Firstly, I think there's a lot of communication gap between parents and children. Okay. What happens is this typical ego battle, because you're a teenager and you'll not listen to your parent. That's how it is. And you're a parent, you feel that you know pretty much everything because you've seen life. And somewhere I think it's the middle ground where you need to really, if you're a parent, talk to your child and find out where his or her interest lies. And then see for yourself, how can I make it possible? Okay, can I tweak something around it, still stick to something which the child wants, right? And for the child, again, instead of just being blinded by certain things, like a lot of kids just want to be entrepreneurs. When you ask them why, they're like, nahi, mere ko apna hi boss banna hai, main CEO banna hai. Right now, that's probably, an innocent line of thought, but for a wrong reason. Right? Can the kid be an entrepreneur? Definitely. But you have to tell him that, look, it does not work that way. So take him to 5 entrepreneurs who failed. They can talk to me, right? I've had a series of failures. So I'll tell them the road is not that rosy, right? Here, everyone is your boss. If you're an entrepreneur, everyone is your boss, right? From your employee who you need to convince to join you, right? From an investor, you need to make your investors happy, stakeholders happy, customers happy. So basically, everyone is your boss. Now suddenly the child has access to information. Oh, aisa tha kya? This I didn't know. Because they are reading headlines. This fellow got $5 million. Oh, mere ko entrepreneur banna hai, mere ko entrepreneur banna hai, right? So once they get access to information, then like, array, okay, I didn't think of that. So now the child is being more realistic. Okay, get him to do something. Let him probably sell something in his garage to other friends. See whether he has the skill. Then the child himself will realize, yeah, this is not for me, yaar. It's better that मेरे को AC में बैठना है, आराम से अपना 9 to 5 job करके, I want to do something of my own. I think that's clarity, right? So whatever you're choosing, first get access to information, and information today is available everywhere, right? So instead of each party, parent and child saying, no, you cannot tell me what to do. No, I will do what I want to do. I would say explore everything and get information out.
Yeah, so those are very great insights, and I think parents, will give a lot of time to their kids now to find out what their passion is, what should be their career, and otherwise also, this is the lockdown period, and we all are locked inside our houses with our families. So this is a quality time which they'll be spending in finding out what career option will be suitable for them.
Right.
So now we have another serious question for you. Once we come out of the pandemic, the employment scenarios are going to change a lot. Which are the areas that you feel will require the most employment force?
Sure, there are, while a lot of sectors have taken a hit because of the pandemic, there are still sectors which are poised to do very well. For example, edtech, education online is a booming sector. Logistics will be a sector which will have a lot of traction, because everyone's figuring out last mile logistics, grocery and everything, right? Pharma sector, again, healthcare is going to be one of the most important, sectors across the world where a lot of investments are going to go in. So there are a lot of sectors which are poised to do well. But having said that, here's what I truly feel: if you're good at what you do, irrespective of the economy, you will still be very comfortable. If you are in the top 10% of whatever you're doing, you may be a hacker, you may be a coder, you may be a chef, you may be someone who's very popular on Instagram, or you may be a radio show host, whoever you are. If you're really good at whatever you're doing, irrespective of how the market behaves, people will still want you, right? So of course, one part of it is look at sectors which are more promising, but at the same time, you've got to be the best at what you're doing, so nothing takes away from that.
Right. So अब थोड़ा सा सीरियसनेस से थोड़ा सा नीचे आते हैं, थोड़ा से और नॉर्मल नॉन सीरियस क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं। तो एक तो पेरेंट का ये होता है ना कि कुछ तो पुश करना ही है। दूसरा जो मैंने देखा है रेगुलरली कि मैंने ये नहीं किया है तो मेरा बच्चा जरूर करेगा, राइट? तो मैं सिंगर नहीं बना तो मेरा बच्चा सिंगर बने। तो आप बेसिकली अपना करियर ऑप्शन जो आप नहीं कर पाए वो उस पर थोप रहे हैं। मेरे केस में उल्टा है, मेरी बेटी चाहती है कि मैं स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियन बन जाऊं, राइट? तो I am crushed by both generation. I think I need to figure out my passion also. But what was your experience? Are your parents happy with whatever you're doing right now?
No, the answer is a straight no, right? Like my parents have given up on me. I'll be honest. Like, I'm turning 32, by the way, so the conversation now are thoda sa better. But yeah, but they're not happy. My dad's like, look, his dream was that I work for IBM because he worked for IBM. My sister worked for IBM, and I was with IBM. Right? So like the dream come true, and then of course, my dad retired. My sister went to the US, and then I left the company as well. Right? So he's not able to really figure out kya chal raha either, right? And to be honest, he knows that look, now it's too late for me to say anything types. But yeah, there was a time when he was into a depression because of me, because when I quit, and then there was a little bit of financial issues because obviously I had to figure out what to do. It was tough. We had arguments. We still do sometimes. And I think it goes back to the point which I mentioned earlier, the communication gap. We never communicated. Okay, this is what I want to do, and this is what he thinks he should do. So somewhere that gap became so big that it's just it's an ego battle, which where no one wins. Right. But yes, I'm also learning, so I've kind of what do you say, calm down a bit. Even he's let go. So if we do this interview probably next year, I think I'll have a better answer.
Yeah, so this actually gives me another interesting point here that earlier explaining these career option was also easy, right? बच्चा इंजीनियर है,
करेक्ट।
अब आपके पिताजी क्या बताएंगे कि बच्चे ये स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी क्या करता है, लोगों को हंसाता है, जॉनी लीवर टाइप कुछ करता है,
करेक्ट,
right? So I'll give you an example. My brother is a leading mixologist, so he writes, he's on TV, writes on newspapers. My dad actually, and this was way back 10 years back, I think, when he just was establishing himself, he had no idea how to express कि मेरा छोटा बेटा करता क्या है, तो वो ये बोलते थे कि ये शरबत घोलता है।
हाँ, right.
तो आई थिंक वो भी एक्सप्लेन करना जरूरी होगा कि करते क्या है करियर ऑप्शंस में, उसमें भी शायद एक कोर्स बनना चाहिए कि माँ बाप को कैसे समझाएं।
मैं तो बोल रहा हूँ because that's the reason why there's a problem, because parents are always thinking मैं क्या बोलूँगा सोसाइटी में types, right? That's where I think the problem starts. And I think that at some point you have to realize यार आपको सोसाइटी की खुशी चाहिए बच्चे की, right? You have to choose. It's simple. Okay, do you want to like please everyone? Okay, my son or daughter is at a well cushion job, plum job at a whatever big 4 or the Fortune 500 companies, but the child is suffocating. Or you're like, yaar, society, they will tell something or the other. They will tell, yeah, if not this, they will tell something else. But I'm with the child. Let him do what they want to do. Let them make mistakes. Let them learn. Right. So it's a call. It's a tough call to make though.
और मुझे तो लगता है कि आज की डेट में इंजीनियर सिर्फ इंजीनियर बोल के भी काम नहीं चलेगा, डॉक्टर बोल के भी नहीं काम चलेगा. देयर आर टू मेनी काइंड ऑफ इंजीनियर्स, इवन फॉर दैट मैटर लॉयर्स आर, देयर आर टू मेनी. तुम्हारे क्रिमिनल लॉयर से लेके आईपी लॉयर से लेके, देयर आर टू मेनी थिंग्स. और मुझे लगता है पेरेंट्स से वो बात होती है. सो देयर हैज टू बी सम काइंड ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन देयर.
Yes, absolutely. And then now we are moving to an age of specialization. As you said, these days, again, lawyer, if you just say you're a lawyer, there's no value as such in the sense. But if you go deep down, see, who earns more, a doctor or a surgeon? Right? A surgeon, of course, because they're specializing in something, right? So it doesn't matter what you are if you specialize in it, right? मेरे को आपका शेफ आपके पीछे जो केक लेके खड़ा है उसका, I'm getting distracted by the guy, but if you're the best baker, the options are endless. I was talking to a friend who runs a restaurant. I didn't know there is a grading for chefs. There's CMM 5, CMM 7 level, and based on that you move to the higher order. Okay, and he was telling me he knows the chef in Leela Palace, and he told me the money that he makes, the kind of consulting he does. He consults other upcoming big restaurants in hotels. Massive money.
I'm sure. So there are some Facebook questions also.
Sure. Let's bring it up.
And this is related to the YouTube channel which you have. So you muse over these business news. How are you able to bring out comedy from such serious topics?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. So I think everything has two sides to look at it, right? Anything, however serious it may be, एक बहुत ही different view भी है उसका. So the thing is, that thing exists. It is not that you are inventing it. Whatever it is has two sides. Normally, हमारा जो reflex है is to look at from an obvious way. But if you spend some time, if you're good with observations, you'll be able to figure out an alternate path to it as well. And I think comedy is all about that, not looking at things head on, but just exploring, discovering the path. I'm not saying inventing the path. You don't have to invent anything. You just need to look at the same thing, in a very different way. And yeah, the joke will come on its own.
So observation and, probably flip the coin, and see the other side.
Absolutely. The answers are right there when you flip the coin.
So let's say, looking at this interview, a few of these kids might want to become, next Anmol Garg. What are your tips and what are the tricks which you should, you would want to share?
It's very simple. Go out to an open mic and perform there. Simple. Abhi, if you just tell, I want to become a stand-up comedian, it won't help. Create a small script. There are hundreds of open mics out there. They're happy to have you. Take your parents along and perform. Simple. And see if this is what you want to do. Right? And then that's how you're like, hey, yeah, I love being on stage. Fine. People didn't laugh that much, but I loved that whole experience. They did laugh for 2 jokes. Maybe I can do better. Go there again. And then you'll realize, man, I love this. I love the process of writing. I love the process of delivering. And I think I can do this every day. That's it. Case closed. Right?
So basically, the first important thing is, you need to get your words out, write it somewhere. And then if you cannot have a stage fear if you have to become a stand-up comedian.
I would say, होगा वो अभी, to start with. Everyone is scared. I'll be honest, I am scared myself. यार बहुत pressure होता है because I have to make sure people laugh, right? So the pressure will be there, but it's part of the game, right? That's what makes it exciting. Every time you're out there, यार, will people laugh, not laugh? ये चलेगा, नहीं चलेगा? What should I do? These are all questions which you will, I think, keep having, which is fine, which is what keeps it exciting.
So parents ले जाने का मकसद ये है कि कोई नहीं हंसेगा तो parents को तो जानबूझ के हंसना पड़ेगा और शायद उनको देख के कुछ लोग हंस लें.
Not just that is one. You can always bribe your parents, but when the parent also sees the child there, they're like, hey, he did it, right? When the parent sees that commitment, okay, बच्चे ने कुछ लिखा है, and he's actually gone there to perform, right? When they see it, things kind of change. So it works both ways. one, of course, you can get some laughter. Second is, they also see that, okay, he is showing some interest. Right? Because a lot of time, again, if kids are watching this, they will say, I want to do this tall claims, and then they don't do anything. That's where, again, their faith is lost. So if suppose a kid tells you, as a parent, if someone tells you that, look, I want to do this, okay, do it. Okay, and the child doesn't do it, then you can always say, look, you only don't want to do it, right? So that's the thing. Put the true test of the pudding is in the eating. When the rubber hits the road, as simple as that.
Those were very great advices, and I think the parents are going to focus on the passion of their kids, and the kids are also going to try and find out where their passion lies. We won't take a lot of time from you, but yeah, one more serious question before we end this.
Sure.
This is sort of a personal question. So we have come to know that you're an avid reader. So one, which is your favorite book, and the other part of the question is, how do you think that reading develops our personality?
Sure. My favorite book is written by Esther Hicks. It's called Ask and It Is Given. This book is about how when you want something, the universe will conspire to give it to you. You just need to trust the universe. You don't have to fight with people. You don't have to fight the whole system, right? It's about a deep sense of belief. And I think this is a book pretty much everyone should read because it will solve all issues that a lot of people have. So I think that's a must-read book. And I think I took to this habit of reading a lot, and very recently, unfortunately. And if I'd become a good reader back from school by now, I would have probably been Elon Musk. But so I think reading changes you because suddenly you're open to a lot more new ideas, something that you didn't think of. It basically takes you out of a very limited small pond, right? It's better to be, a small fish in a big pond. I believe that, and the king, because you're living in a very small space. But books or travel opens you up completely and makes you open to ideas. You learn so much. So yeah, last year I did 33 books, though I wanted to finish 52, one book a week. This year I want to do 52, though we are not on the right target. But yes, I still would love to, end my day reading a good book which can give me ideas.
You probably can hire an intern to read some books for you.
True. But I listen to audio, so it's better, when you're driving around in the city. Man, I miss driving around now. I miss the traffic. but yeah, you listen to it, so you save time as well, and I think that's a good strategy.
तो उस हिसाब से तुम बैंगलोर में बैठे बैठे एक राउंड में ही 3-4 बुक्स पढ़ सकते हो, है ना, एक दिन में.
Absolutely. Bangalore mein to people are getting married and delivering also on the same day. Don't ask me the logic for that.
With a stand-up comedian, I don't think we should use logic and right. But एक जो चीज I think end करनी चाहिए. आपकी इतनी तारीफ कर दी है as a stand-up comedian, और शायद हमने थोड़ा सा देख लिया है, एक झलक देख ली है. If there is a small, probably some things which you probably would want to share, or if you want to do something impromptu, I'm not sure, whatever works for you.
Since we are online, I have written a poem, okay, and this is a poem on coronavirus, the virus. So if you guys are open to it, I can probably read it out. Sounds good?
Right. So the sales champion, the stand-up comedian, and the poet Anmol Garg.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going with the flow. Whatever the heart says, I just go ahead and do it. So, yeah, here it goes. Life has come to a complete standstill. We don't know how many people this virus will kill. This lockdown seems like an endless drill. This virus has left a deep void which will never fill. Think of the laborers who are stuck in a cage. Their only means of survival was their daily wage. Corona is spreading everywhere like a rage. So stay at home at this crucial stage. The stock market has crashed, business is down. It's time to firmly hold your ground. Just read a book and keep yourself mentally sound. When you are lost, it's the best time to be found. This virus is a reminder that we are constantly on the run. Sometimes it's just good to stop and soak in the sun. There's a lot of damage that's already been done. But hey, if you are sleeping with your family tonight, you are the blessed one.
That was a great poem, Anmol. Really, like we've seen all the sides of you, I think, in this session. The successful Anmol and the failed Anmol, like through the startups. The comedian Anmol and the serious Anmol. So I think we've seen all the sides of you through the session, and we got a lot of information and insights from you, which were really great and helpful. So you're
Thank you. Thank you so
multi-talent.
much. Thank you so much, Aditi. Thank you so much, Amit. Hats off to you guys. I think what you're doing should be mainstream education, right? I think Kidzpreneur is a wonderful venture. And you guys are doing a fabulous job. I just hope this becomes part of the education system. I think that's when the whole mission is kind of solved.
I really hope the kids would have learned a lot from you. And yeah, you, as we've seen, are multi-talented, and you literally sent a benchmark for all of us. So it was great having you here, and as I said, getting all these insights and advices from you. So thank you for joining us.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.